Hi, welcome back. I hope you had a wonderful week and you're ready for another talk. This week, we talk about the new COVID digital certificates and how good and how bad they can be depending on your age group and maybe your computer literacy as well. So stick around. Let's talk. Let's talk about digital certificates. Let's go. So, usually, these are part of our lives. They are basically a part of our day-to-day activities. We go to the supermarket, we have to scan the QR code. We go to any other shop, we go to a restaurant, we need to scan the QR code. We need to provide our certificate so they know we are double vaccinated in order to enter the restaurant, etc., etc. I'm not saying it's a problem. It's not a problem at all. I think it is necessary, and I think it's a very good thing because it's a safety measure, is a protection for everyone. If everyone knows that everyone is vaccinated, the risks involved are less, and we can actually try to control this situation a little better. So I'm not against it at all. And by no means this video is against the certificates or against the QR codes or against anything or vaccination for that matter. I'm a 100% supporter of vaccination, and I think my videos have explained that already. But what I think is, if for me and for people that are very used to the new technologies and work with computers and have a smartphone and tablets and all these, it's very simple for us to download the certificate in our mobile phone and have it there to show, have the app, and have all these devices and have all these uh, technologies that will help us prove that we are vaccinated, that we've been in a certain place, etc., etc. It is not the same for everyone, and especially, for example, I'm thinking about people that may live in a country uh, where they're not familiar with the language and the language may be a barrier there, or especially the elderly. I'm thinking about the elderly. I think they are particularly vulnerable in this particular situation because some of them may not have access to computers, may not be very keen into computers. And I'm not generalizing here because there are a lot of elderly people that are very savvy with computers. They have their own computer and they do everything through the computer. I'm not generalizing. I'm just saying that there is some elderly people. I have in my family, I've got a lot of examples of that. They are not very savvy with computers, and plus they may not be very fluent with the English, and that becomes a problem. And I think for this reason, I think we should think of these matters in a more holistic approach and try to mitigate the situation between the tech savvy and the non-tech savvy people, because obviously we need to cater for everyone, and we need to do it in a way that we are not discriminating everyone, because I think discrimination is appalling and we should not go there. uh, People should not be discriminated against based on their age, based on their background, whatever. For me, I think discrimination is a no-no and shouldn't happen. But I think um, a simplified way, if people cannot have the certificate on their phone, that's fine. A simple thing like having the paper certificate, but in a way, in a smaller format, so they don't need to bring a A4 page everywhere. Um, something a little bit more doable for a person that is not obviously tech savvy. It is a problem uh, because if you don't have a computer, If you don't have a smartphone, and I have relatives in my family that don't have a smartphone, if you don't have a smartphone, how are you able to download apps, and how are you able to download your certificate there? So we should cater for those people. We should cater for all these examples and try to make it a little bit easy for them. I think um, the paper option, honestly, I'm not saying it's inadequate. I think it would be the only uh, thing I can think of. For example, for traveling, there could be a stamp that is put on the passport, perhaps, for traveling instead of taking the certificate with them. I don't know. Or maybe creating a little passport that you can carry. It's a smaller thing. um, Maybe a COVID passport could be created, in because I can see that we will be required to have these booster shots, and then you will have to update with your booster shots. They will stamp every booster shot that you have. I'm not sure. Um, but I think we would need, obviously, if you have a smartphone and if you can download everything on your smartphone, you would be exempt from this paper version of it. But for example, if you do not have a smartphone, or if you're not very tech savvy, something like this, something that it's smaller, that can be carried in your pocket or in your bag or something like that, and that would be easier to show, to provide them with information they need, and also not be too difficult to carry, etc., etc. I think the world today is very, very inclined to technology, and we are forgetting that sometimes it can, if for some may be very useful, and if for some may be very good, for others it may be a problem. It's the same with other things. This is not only the situation with, for example, with these certificates for traveling. I'm thinking, for example, even with bills, companies these days like to send bills via email. What if you don't have a computer and you don't have an email account? It's ridiculous that big companies still think that, well, obviously, I prefer to receive my bills on the email because I don't have paper hanging around. It's less paper usage, less paper wastage. Obviously, I understand that and I agree with that. But if I don't have a computer, or if I do not know how to operate a computer or a mobile phone, or have an email account, how can I get my bill? So I think we need to understand that we are all different and we all have different needs, and try to mitigate what technology the problems that technology may bring for some segments of our population, and try to make it easy for them as well. And that's all for today. I hope you really like this video today. I hope it really give you an insight of how things may be, because sometimes we live in our little world, and for us things are simple, things are easy, and sometimes you don't think that maybe there is people out there for whom it might be really complicated, and they may need help, and they may need things to be a little bit more simple and made easier for them. Again, uh, give me your opinion, give me your experience. If you do not have a computer, or obviously if you are watching this video you will, but if you are not very tech savvy, you have a computer but you are not very savvy with all these technologies, all these apps and all these things, and you think uh, this process has been a little bit complicated for you, please share your opinion. I would like to hear from you. Or if you are not in this predicament, if you don't have any issues with the digital certificates, if you have yours, if you have all your things in the smartphone, etc., but you have an opinion, please share with us. It's always important to have different opinions, and different experiences. So we know, even if you are from a different country, I am in Australia. If you are in a different country, tell us how it's been done in your country. If you guys have a certificate that it can be uploaded to your phone, or if you have something else, what has been created in your country, what do you do? Share with us. It's always important to know different perspectives, because that's how we all grow. Before I go, I'd like to ask you to put a like on the video, the whole story, the algorithm, YouTube, etc. And subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a notification of a talk every week. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching. See you next week. Thank you. Bye.